Okay.
Taking care of someone at the end of their life can really be the most beautiful experience that you will ever have. And a lot of us just simply don't know what to do or how to approach it. But today, our special guest is in a perfect position to share with us her knowledge, tell us how to do this, how to navigate the process, and make it good and special for everyone involved. So if you need to know more about this, stay tuned. Hey, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Scan FYI. So, yeah, we have a topic that's a little bit different for us today, but it's a topic that affects every single one of us. So, it's important for us to know exactly how to approach this. So, my guest today is Beth McGovern. She is a nurse and she is from Holisticare Hospice, and I'll let her tell everyone a little bit more about herself. Good morning, Beth.
Good morning, Andrea. Thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of this amazing journey with you and all the members of SCAN and beyond.
Scan and beyond, very
And
beyond.
beyond, very beyond.
Thanks to the internet, very beyond. So, Beth, why don't you just introduce yourself a little bit better than I did and share with everyone what you're doing at Holisticare Hospice?
My role in Holisticare Hospice is to be the community liaison between organizations like SCAN, the patients, the family caregiver, the hospitals, doctors, and physicians. Anywhere you are needing care, requiring care, I come in with a little bit of education, a little bit of kindness, a lot of kindness, and understanding of this time, this very precious time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this maybe is the most precious time because it's the last time you might have together, and we have to know how to make it work. So first, I'm looking at your notes that you had given me, and you talked about assembling a dream team of caretakers. So let's kind of talk about that first. How does that
Well,
work?
I never miss an opportunity to discuss the dream team, from the good old Olympic basketball. That
Oh,
was the
yes.
first time anybody had really ever heard of the dream team. And so when you are, aging in place, or even myself, I just turned the golden 50. And so I'm looking down the road, any chronic illness that we may be having, we have a specialist, we have our general doctor, we have, fortunately, we have SCAN, we have a whole beautiful list of resources that we could be tapping into. When somebody is nearing the end of life or getting older, we tend to isolate and we tend to turn inward, when what we really should be doing is turning outward. There is
The
a lot
opposite.
of help.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of help out there. And there's beautiful moments and there's amazing people that are there whose life mission is to help. I mean, there's visiting physicians, there's, you know, agencies like my own, there's home care agencies, there's volunteer agencies, there's your church, your neighbors, your friends, and even your own family. So when it is our, instinct to turn inward, I hope the real takeaway from this COVID time is that we really are here for each other. We really want more for each other, and we want more for ourselves and our loved ones. So the tendency to turn inward, it's not the time for that. Reach out, do the work. And as soon as you can assemble the dream team, the better your journey will be. I promise you. I promise you this is the truth.
Well, because this is a time not to be by yourself, not to go it alone. Yeah.
100%, because,
Yeah.
you know, caregiving, I like to call it care partner. You want to encourage the independence of the person you're caring for as long as possible, to give them the opportunity to do what they still can for as long as they can. And in that, you're going to prevent burnout for yourself. There are people that you can turn to. You can delegate the roles. If you're not the financial person, maybe there's somebody in your family who is. If you're not the contact person, maybe you could turn over that notifying the family members. If there are several family members, give that to somebody who is more outgoing and social, because you're inside doing the work. Make sure that you have time to do the things that you still like to do. make sure as the caregiver that you are filling yourself, even in those moments where it seems the most dire and the most do something you like. The studies have shown even looking at blue spaces and green spaces, as simple as enjoying nature just for 5 minutes out the window, out a balcony, on the front steps, just breathe in and just be mindful, be in the moment.
I feel like, the whole situation with caregiver burnout, well, it's a real thing. And I guess sometimes, we still tend to think that we're superheroes and we can do it all. We can't. I'll tell you that right now, guys, you can't.
And you don't have to, and you shouldn't.
You don't have to. That's right. You absolutely don't have to. And the sooner you give over some of those responsibilities, the more time you will have to celebrate the quality and make those moments, because every moment is not devoted to caregiving. I mean, the burnout is a terrible thing.
Burnout is real. Sometimes it shows up in ways that you're not even aware of. That is burnout. You're short, maybe you have a short temper now, maybe you're not talking as much, maybe you're not enjoying things like you once did. Those are all signs of burnout, which can be prevented. I like to flip things on their ear always. I'll always be someone who looks at something a different way. Caregiving can be so stressful. The reality is 1 in 5 families will be caring for somebody with dementia by 2022. The Family Caregiver Alliance in 2015 released that 38.9 million Americans are caring for a loved one. So there's so many people going through this.
Yeah.
You're not alone, except we're behind closed doors and we're not talking about it. So talk about it with your friends, with your neighbors, with your family. Look for SCAN. When you have that moment to have 5-10 minutes, go on Facebook Live, look at SCAN, see all that is available out there. There's so much. But again, gratitude. Remember gratitude. Instead of feeling like I can't do this, look at how far you've come. Look at all you've accomplished, and look for those moments of joy. Be proud of yourself. Anybody who's caring for another human being, you have a lot to be proud of. You didn't know everything that you know now, and you're not going to know everything that you need to know. Things are going to happen. Information is going to come to you, skills, you're going to flex new muscles you never knew you had and you never knew you needed, to be quite honest. And so
that's why you have to sort of give up the idea that you can do everything yourself, because, well, there's too many moving parts here, and there's probably other people that are more skilled to do this or to do that.
Absolutely. I mean, and again, this is why you assemble the dream team. Take a look at all the pieces of the puzzle. You may need to hire somebody to help clean the house. Maybe cleaning the house is just something you can't do anymore, because of the drain of your energy. Maybe you need to get somebody to stay with your loved one just for an hour or two, just so that you can get some free time. Maybe you need to schedule an Amazon Prime delivery for, the pantry items, the basics. Maybe it's time to be creative. It's time to think outside the box, and don't ever, ever be afraid to accept help. That is something that we really struggle with. Caregivers, people, children, mothers, wives, husbands, we all struggle with that. But one thing I love that I heard a long time ago, when you don't allow someone to help you, you're robbing them of that feeling that they'll feel for helping you. People, I mean, right? To think about it in a new way. Giving somebody an opportunity to help you will make them feel good. It will make them feel, wow, look what I can do. Look what I did. And so giving is for the giver, helping is for the helper. It is something that we all need to do. And putting it upon yourself, there are no awards for caring the most. There are no awards for running yourself ragged. There are no awards for this. No. They don't have an Emmy. There's no Oscar. There's no Tony for this. The only thing there is illness and discomfort. So save yourself from that. Another way to be a good mindful caregiver is manage your anxiety and fear. It's scary. At the end of the day, you don't know what's coming. You may have always suffered with anxiety and fear. So in these moments, just simple mindfulness. Take those 3 deep breaths. Get your amygdala under control. Get back to center. You know who you really are inside. Go with your gut, lead with your heart, and everything that you do with the best that you can. And when you know better, you do better. Reach out to people who know
Yeah.
better.
Beth, what are some things that you can do with, this is a very precious time at the end of someone's life. What are some of the quality things that how to create quality moments or how to celebrate them? What might somebody do that would
So,
just this an amazing memory?
the person that you love the most, that you know them inside and out. If they were a music lover, continue the music. If they were somebody who enjoyed quiet, embrace the quiet. There's beauty in stillness. Really, there's beauty
Yeah,
in
well,
stillness.
that's true. And I'm just thinking maybe they won't be able to tell you verbally
Mhm.
what they want. So you're right, actually. You know you know this person.
This
So
is not a mystery. Trust your gut. And this is
that's
where
true.
anxiety and fear get the best of you. And it is something, you do need to reduce the stimulation. You do need to take it slow. This is a time to pause. Look for those moments of joy. For the caregiver, I hate to give you one more job. I really do. But journaling is really important. And remember gratitude. Start with gratitude. I'm so thankful today went well because I'm so thankful I can do this now, blank. Fill in those blanks because you will be able to look back. If you had a good couple of days, what did we do differently? What happened? Sometimes it's as simple as your outlook. Sometimes it's as simple as the way you approached the day made it a good day. Not all days are going to be good, but they're also not going to be terrible either. There are victories, there are wins. Look for the joy, and you can see it. You can definitely see it. There'll be a release of tension in the person that you're, caring for. There'll be, there definitely will be a smile on the face. There'll just be an ease, and you can definitely tell.
Beth, I like how you said about kind of writing some thoughts down because I feel like if you do that, and then at some point this person is no longer here, but you've got these beautiful notes of gratitude and joy that you wrote down that you can revisit over and over as, a reminder of, well, those were those special moments. You did, maybe at the time you didn't even know how special they would be, but now you wrote them down, which I love that idea.
And you can participate in that with your loved one. You can relive these good moments for many, many years, and many people that aren't able to be there with you can share in those moments after or during. But it's definitely, I can't tell you how many times I hear one day runs into the next and people don't even realize a timeline, or they're missing out. They're not recalling details the way they may have if they had just a minute just to notice. You could even, as simple as putting it on your calendar, good day, bad day, why? Real simple. And then when you have a moment to expound on it, but documenting these moments in a way that are meaningful. It's time is so valuable. And I think that's my biggest my biggest takeaway from this last 3 years is time is precious, and being still, slowing it down, and
Yeah.
looking for the miracles, because there are miracles everywhere.
Well, if every day you would write down one thing before you went to sleep, my light just went out. We're going to ignore technology.
Mhm.
If every day you wrote something down, let's say before you went to bed about today was a good day because, just in general, if we did something like this, and at the end of a month, you've got 30 good things that you could say. And then you have a bad day because let's be serious, we have a bad day. It happens to everyone. But now, you know what? You can look back at this piece of paper where you wrote down 30 good things. And I feel like that's your gratitude right there. Wasn't a big deal to write down 30 things.
No, it does add up. I have a saying that drives everybody crazy, but it's true. 1 + 1 = 10. You have one thing, and then you have another thing, and then you have another thing, and then before you know it, you have 10 things. So
Mhm.
when people who know me well hear me say, "Oh, here she goes again with the 1 + 1 = 10," but isn't it true? Isn't it always true?
So for people who just who are listening and they feel like they just need some extra advice, or they're really not sure what to do, is this something where they could reach out to you to get some extra help or some advice?
Absolutely. Fortunately, being in Monmouth County, fortunately, being in touch with professionals like yourself, Andrea, we are so lucky to know the best of the best in the industry. We have we have a wealth of resources in this area. And I absolutely have my finger on the pulse. I'm constantly connecting with other professionals. I am more than happy. I do believe that my sole purpose, I was born and raised to care for people, all people everywhere, forever. And so it is my distinct privilege and honor to be there for people who are in need anywhere, anytime.
Well, of course, I have Beth's information in the contacts. So if you wanted to reach out to her, just to understand maybe more about the hospice process, and of course, get some expertise right from the source, I think that's always a good idea, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the good thing about hospice is it comes with a dream team. There is a whole bunch of people you never knew you needed before.
Well, that's the thing as a caregiver, when again we think we can do it all, but again, you can't. But we insist on trying. I know that. So then you find out all these amazing resources that are there for you, and everyone's life is going to immediately improve when one person doesn't get 100% of, then it does become a burden. When one person is doing everything, it's difficult. And if something happens to you, the caregiver, now what, right?
100%. And again, the takeaway from these last 3 years has to be that isolation doesn't work. It
No.
doesn't. And so do not, don't cave in on yourself and take all this in. And it's just you and the person you're caring for. It's not, it doesn't have to be that way. And you will absolutely burn out. It will affect your health. So please, if there's one thing that we can take away from this conversation, there are people who care, there are people who can help. And it doesn't always come with a price tag, by the way. So the services out there, just having someone else to listen to talk to bounce ideas off of.
So
Very simple.
if you want to be available to your loved one at the end of their life, then you've got to have other people available to you to support you. I feel like for me that's my takeaway, is that we simply cannot do it alone. We don't need to do it alone. And that's the mistake, is even believing that you can do it by yourself. No, because there's people like Beth out there, and thankfully there is. Thank you, Beth, for all that you do.
Yeah. Thank you. I mean, not to sound so stark, but if you are isolating with the one you're caring for, what do you think is going to happen when they're no longer here? How much more isolated will you be? So
Yeah.
even for yourself going forward, reaching out, establishing a new way, there will be people with you all along the journey that will get you to both sides of success. You want to be a successful caregiver in as much as you can, and success comes from having a team.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right. Well, Beth, I'm so grateful that you were with me this morning and that we got to share really all of your excellent wisdom. Much appreciated. And of course, again, you can reach out to Beth at any time. I do want to say a special thank you to Mark Vigiani of Keller Williams of Central Monmouth. He is the sponsor of today's FYI segment. Okay, remember, if it's important to you, it's important to us. I'm Andrea Tarr, and we'll see you next time on Scan FYI. Bye, everyone, and bye, Beth.
Bye, Andrea. Thank you so much.